Hello down there!
How you doing?
Great. You?
I'm okay. How's it look up there?
Very wool.
Wool?
Lots of wool.
It's kind of diorite down here. Granity.
Stony?
Sandy.
Do you need to be rescued?
No, I think I got it. Watch my mad skills. How about that, huh?
You go, Dad. Welcome, everybody, to another episode from Forever Bedrock.
Yes, today's episode is episode number 14, and sit back. This is a mega episode. We have tons of progress from the Rustic Village.
Yes, we do.
The Desert Temple. And we're going to start today's episode off with some item transport systems. As you may know, from the beginning of the season, Kay and I have been trying to do as much as we can with as little redstone assistance
As possible.
Yeah.
Recently, we've needed a lot of bone meal. And so I decided to put a few composter setups.
Yep, Kay put the composter setups right in our storage room, and we decided then that we would take the carrot farm above our base
And hook it up to an ice path.
And that ice path, that item transport system, we would be able to tunnel down and hook directly into the composter setup. So here we are, digging ourselves a little tunnel. We've got our location set and we're getting our ice put in. As you guys know, water will travel 8 blocks when it's placed. So the idea here is to go ahead and place the water. Then we want to have a little button here where the water ends, and then more water that will take it to the edge that will drop it straight into the composter setup.
Yes.
We got really lucky on this one because it actually ended up 8 on the money for both streams and didn't have to do any kind of finagling with the setup. So there we have both the water streams in, and I'm going to go ahead and give that a test right now. We'll fly through harvesting these carrots up. We'll toss them down the input. And then we can go ahead and make sure that our items are actually getting down to
the composter setup.
Yeah, so here we are down at the bottom. We got our carrots filtering through on one side. That's all good. And let's double check, make sure. Yep, we got carrots flowing through both sides, both hoppers.
Yep.
Now all that's left.
It's a trapdoor so we don't fall in.
Exactly. Next on the agenda is a water transport system for this wheat farm. But first, let's check in on Kay over at the Rustic Village.
I'm here at the Rustic Village building a brand new farmhouse which matches the gradient aesthetic of all the other houses in the village.
So the gradient, Kay, you're doing what now?
Dark to light.
So it begins on the lower floors with a darker wood colors, and then as the build gets taller, it gets to the lighter. Okay, cool. So we're starting out here with dark oak.
Yep.
And then what is the next?
Then it will be spruce, and then oak, and then bone block for the really light segment.
For the final floor, for the topmost floors? Cool. So what is this section here that you're adding in?
A small little crop farm.
And this is then the front of the farmhouse?
Yep.
Yeah? Cool. All right. Well, let's cut into a time lapse of Kay knocking out most of the farmhouse.
Now back at the base, we are going to set up the second transport system for wheat this time.
Yep, and that one is going to go to the second composter setup that Kay has set up in our storage facility, our storage room. So we went ahead and got all the coordinates that we needed to tunnel to the back of that composter setup. That allows us to just go ahead and dig our path here, the storage room. And from there, we'll get placing our ice and water, get this system dialed in. So hopefully we can stay caught up with the bone meal needs between these two farms, automatically going to...
And for the Rustic Village as well, because of the bone blocks.
Yes, we are going to need a ton for that. So yep, hopefully these two farms set up going directly to the composters will get us in good shape with all of the bone meal needs.
Time for time lapse number 2.
And now that this one is all complete, let's go ahead and throw a few items in there. We'll give
it a test.
Yep, we'll give it a quick test. I'll run down to the bottom there. Since dirt will not go into the composters, they should end up in either the chest or the hopper and be stuck there. And there are the 4 pieces of dirt and our little safety hatch so that I don't fall in there.
Yep.
And after all that work...
After all that work, there's still more to do.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
You need to get to the desert and start working on that temple.
And here we are at the Desert Village Temple.
The issue with big desert builds is that they all look the same. They're the same exact, like, kind of vanilla-ish color.
Yep, all of your block choices in a big, large desert-style build. The challenge is exactly what Kay was saying, is the color. So one of the things that we came up with for the temple is to add texture and to get in as many wall blocks and stairs as possible. Those will give you shadows in the build that will automatically kind of offset some of the coloration, so where all the blocks do not appear the same as they normally would. One of the other things that we added in
is the terracotta blocks.
Terracotta is another great one to add some variation and some color, and it tends to just work well in the desert setting with all of the sand type blocks. So we went ahead and we had some big sections and bold sections where we have that terracotta to break up some of the walls and the longer pieces of the build with these colors to give it a little bit more character.
Another great way to add a little bit of variation is to use stripped oak and birch logs.
Those are definitely good choices. So after we finished off that front end there, we're going to go ahead and get started on the walls. The walls are not going to go up super high. And this is another example of working with different block types. We actually went ahead and went smooth stone with sections of the wall to give it yet another kind of lighter plain look compared to the sandstone or the chiseled sandstone that kind of has the creeper face in it. So what we're going to do here on parts of the wall are use the smooth sandstone, and then we're going to interlace that with stair blocks that are upside down. And then once we get that in, let's take a look at it and you'll get a quick idea of how that looks by adding just that little bit of extra depth and the shadow that's going to be created from the stair. There you get a good look of it there. And it looks a lot better than just a plain straight up wall. So having the cut sandstone or sand at the bottom, sandstone at the bottom, go into the smooth, and then the second layer or the third layer having the mix of the smooth sandstone and stair blocks really gives the wall a lot of definition, but without getting crazy and having to spend a bazillion hours trying some intricate pattern.
Yes.
Next thing we decided to do was add a ring all the way around the wall with our terracotta blocks.
Yep.
And there we get a good look from the front. Get a lot of definition and depth with the wall blocks and the stair blocks and the terracotta. Gives it a nice, still a desert look, but
Yep.
it has some variation to it. Let's take a quick look
Of how this looks in
RTX. Definitely has a cool vibe in RTX. I really like the way that the copper looks in the RTX, and it definitely gives it's kind of funky because the sun kind of washes out some of those shadows depending on where the sun is at in the day. But you know, different points in the day, it accents those shadows and highlights even more. So
Yep.
kind of a unique thing for those of you that have RTX. And here we are filling in the two main little kind of vestibules off on the left and right side of the front of the temple.
Getting fancy with vocabulary.
Yep, vestibule, look that up. Your English teachers will love you. These are going to house some Anubis statues that Kay is working on, which we'll probably get to in the next episode. But she's got some pretty good sized Anubis statues that are going to be the centerpiece of these little cutouts here. Get these walls finished up. And there we have a good look with those sections filled off and waiting for the Anubis statues to arrive. Next, we are going to finish off these main walls. And what I came up with for this, first of all, we're going to go ahead and run a ring of cut sandstone all the way around. And from this, I'm going to build, I came up with a fairly decent arch design that I think will work really well. Now on the outer edges at the top, we're going to go ahead and alternate sandstone and stairs. So we yep, we will have that same kind of a look going that we've used before.
Stupid stair placements.
Why you do that to me, Minecraft?
I hate when it does it with slabs.
Yeah. In the front here, we're just going to run a full line of stairs in this section of the front. Looks a lot better actually as just full stairs, and then on the sides and the back, we're going to just alternate like we've done in the past. And now this is going to be alternated with the copper block. So we have the upside down stairs, a right side up stair, and then a copper block in between. And we're going to carry that pattern all the way around till we get to the other side. And here we get a good look at what the wall is going to look like before the arches get placed on top.
K approved.
Looking pretty good so far, yes, I have to say. And here we go with one of the sides completely done. We get a good look at it from a distance here and come up on close to it. We get a little better view here of the overall look.
And here is in RTX.
So here on the front section, we had placed in our stair blocks and decided that we would also add in a layer of half slabs on top of that to both sides, and there you get the finished view of the front. And here we are. Just got started on putting in all of the arches. We're going to go ahead, once those blocks that are hanging over the edge on the inside, once all the arches are in, we're going to add another layer on the inside of probably either sandstone or another block type, maybe the terracotta again. We'll have to wait and see. But that way it won't make the inside look so strange with the pillar part hanging over the edge, so to speak. Well, here, let's go ahead and take a few minutes. We'll get these arches in and get a look at how things pan out once it's done.
Sparing no expense, since this is a temple and all, we decided to use copper blocks.
Yep, we went ahead and lined the underside of the pillars on the inside of the build with copper. Just because we can. Here we're just adding a little bit of detail to the bottoms of the pillar blocks. Makes it look like they're a little bit more supported. And then we're going to go ahead here and put in the arches. As you notice there, we had half slabs that went across the pillars from top on the top side. And then by putting in a single set of stairs there with the half slab, it gives you that awesome arch shape. And by using the wall blocks for the pillars themselves, gives you a kind of a cut stone look.
Yeah.
It's different than any kind of cut sandstone option that you have in the game. It's kind of a cool trick with pillars to go ahead and use wall blocks like that. And it really does add a little extra touch of detail. It comes out really nice.
Let's spin around and see how the arches look now that they're in place.
There we go.
And those are looking really cool.
Yes, and that is going to do it for today's MEGA-SODE. Hope you picked up maybe some good building tips on some of the things we're doing here at the temple. Maybe learned a thing or two about item transport and about gradients for when you're building.
Especially for rustic and medieval builds.
If you did pick up any tips from today's video, we'd appreciate if you would like and subscribe.
Did you know that 99% of the people watching this video are unsubscribed?
So smash that like button. Don't forget to check out the other Forever Bedrock creators. They all have some awesome videos out there. Please give them a like and subscribe also. Until the next time.
We'll see you later, guys.